Ubisoft just dropped some big news in regard to the Siege of Paris and the third DLC, including one-handed swords. It looks like they're coming sooner than we think. Stealth missions are back, and I've got a dragon leak that nobody else has seen yet, so I'm excited to show you that. And we've got some new abilities as well. So much great stuff to talk about here, so let's dive straight in and get you up to date. First off, Karen Lee, one of the senior community developers at Ubisoft, told us that we'll be getting one-handed swords in the coming weeks, which is a big surprise to be honest with you, and a very welcome one. And it's kind of got me thinking about how are these actually going to be introduced, because I'm not sure when they actually recorded this, but with the 3GB update due this week, as noted by the PlayStation Game Size on Twitter, I'm not sure if I can actually see it arriving in that particular update. In any case, we'll just have to take them at that word. A couple weeks we shall wait, and it does actually look like one of the swords Eivor's holding has a multicolored shimmer on it, and I reckon that might be the Durandal or the Joyce, which is the legendary weapons that were owned by Charlemagne and his champion Roland, which Pedder has also found in the game files. At this stage, I'm kind of leaning towards the Joyce at the moment, as the design is quite similar to the real Joyce that's actually currently on display in the Louvre in Paris, even if the hilt design is slightly different. They've also showcased this lovely set of gear, and I'm for one really quite pleased about this because it genuinely looks authentic for the time period, and I think that is a solid positive for me, and it does look really encouraging going forward. And speaking of good news, Karen confirmed that we'll be picking up black box missions, which is music to my ears. We actually discussed this recently in a 10 things to know about Paris leak video, where Pedder did actually call the black box missions coming into the game, so spot on again, mate. But I guess what this means for us is that we're going to be handed a mission with a specific goal in mind, essentially an assassination target, and as we actually progress towards this target, all of the decisions that we make in the lead up to this assassination is completely up to us. So we do have a bit of free reign within this dungeon type of instance to choose how we're actually going to take out this target, which is great. And this type of mechanic may sound quite trivial, but I feel it's something that we've been really missing so far in Valhalla, and this news has also got a pretty enthusiastic response from me. It also seems to me that we'll be truly infiltrating Paris through the underbelly of the city in the sewers, and this was also confirmed by Pedder in a previous leak video where he did say that the sewers are going to be playing an important role, and I think that we will find a lot of adversaries and we will be making quite a few alliances beneath the depths of Francia, so that's another positive for me. And also that rustic cloak drooped over some knight-esque armour in the sewers there. It was only a short clip, but that's also looking pretty good. Now you may not have seen it or noticed yet, but big shout out to Shoegazer on our Discord. He actually called the Norman haircut before E3 began, and it looks like we're going to be picking that up here. So it is actually quite hard to say why the haircuts were used in that particular time period, but it does seem that they were actually used deliberately to distinguish the English from the Norman adversaries. So that is very cool. And they also showed us a few glimpses of a few new abilities that do look familiar. The first one being where we actually run up to this NPC and stick him with a bomb. Pedder also found this ability named in the game files, which also leads me to believe that this short clip of Eivor with her bow looks quite funky, and I reckon this actually may be the Goule breath ability, which laces an arrow with a deadly poison that causes those who are struck by it to become horrifyingly ill. Now this ability has been found in the same location as the explosive bomb, so it looks pretty solid to me. It also looks like Cavalry are going to be playing a more prominent role here, which we have discussed in a few videos recently, as in the time period the elite units in Francia were the heavy and light cavalry. Now just by what we can see from the trailer, it does look like the NPCs aren't dismounting instantly from their horses and instead are charging right at us, which is excellent. And it may look like we potentially got more champions on the horizon here as we progress through this siege. It does seem like this dude is alone and in front of the gate, so I would actually love to see more challenging NPCs dotted at key checkpoints throughout the siege. And I'm talking about zealot type fights, and I think that would be very, very welcome. But I'm not talking about the type of river raid champion encounters. Less of them, please. We also got the heads up about the new discovery tool, which is also great, as we haven't actually heard anything about it since December last year. So Karen said that it will be arriving this fall, and it's going to be completely free. So if you actually own the game, you'll be able to tuck into this one. And you're not actually going to be running around as Eivor, but rather you're going to be playing a specific person with a specific job topical to that time period. So you'll be able to pick up some rewards for doing this. I imagine it's not going to be anything particularly crazy, but it's an added bonus if you're interested in this kind of thing, which I am, and I'm also very much looking forward to getting stuck into that and making some great historical kind of videos for you on that. Now it doesn't stop there, because Ubi also gave us a cheeky sneak peek for our third DLC here, and Karen says that Eivor is not done with Odin just yet. Well, as you can see, showcasing this hot fiery gateway, which I'm assuming is the door to Muspelheim, home of the fire giants, enemies of the Aesir gods, as well as the dragons. Now this Muspelheim leak was of course leaked by Jonathan a while back, so I think he's bang on the money here again. And speaking of dragons, I've got a little treat for you folks, so spoiler alert inbound, and you may may remember that Pedder actually found the Puka model in the game files that actually turned out to be spot on in the Wrath of the Druids DLC. Well, he's also found himself a dragon. I can't believe this, so check this out. It doesn't look like we can ride it, but it does look like we're actually going to be getting dragons in-game, and I'm not sure what to make of it yet. You're going to have to let me know what you think down below, but it really does seem that we're going to be having a grounded experience here in Paris with a kind of lot of stealth options, and then we kind of head back to the mythological realm with Odin at the end of the year or the start of next. What an absolute journey. So we've also got our update out this week, so we should actually have some more insider info for you in terms of what's been added to the game file. So make sure you do hit that notification bell to be the first one to know what's new. And if you're looking for a growing community who also enjoys AC as well as everything not AC, then consider checking out our Discord server. We genuinely have an awesome set of people here, and it would be fantastic to see you in the lobby. In any case, these are all my key takeaways from the E3. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, a like on the video would be very kind, so thank you very much. And I'm sure I'll see you in the next couple of days with a couple more juicy videos. And as usual, coffee's on me.